hit sensation across the nation with an up-and-coming star. You see me riding every day, I'm never too far. It's just musical car.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Jeff's Musical Car. This week I have Tim Huss, a guy who's traveled the country, writes songs about it, and happy to have you, so thanks for coming along.
Yeah, back and forth across the country for 14 years now on the never-ending highway, and finally, all this time I was just trying to get into
Jeff's musical car.
Yeah.
You finally made it. I love the way you write your songs. I think it's like a proud Canadian thing. People like hearing their towns and cities and songs and the stories of the people and their communities. What inspired you to kind of go that route in your songwriting?
Yeah, actually, I've got 6 albums out of my own now, and they have all been very sort of Canadiana, and sometimes I get kind of asked, why did you decide to write all this Canadiana stuff? And I sometimes actually I just sort of fell into it, actually. I sometimes kind of wonder why everybody doesn't do more of that, because basically I've been touring out of Alberta for a lot of years, but I'm originally from the Kootenays in southern BC.
Okay.
And so my first songs were kind of like sort of forestry and salmon fishing kind of themed, I guess. And that's just kind of like, basically that's what I was doing for work. And didn't take long to figure out. My first song was a timber song, and I wrote that when I was working in a timber camp. So the guys were like, hey, have you ever tried writing a song? And so I tried, and I just kind of wrote it about the logging camp we were in. And that went over pretty easy. And then that went over well, as you can imagine. And I also stumbled on something. It turns out there's actually a lot of timber country in Canada. So there's a whole lot of places you can sing that song and have it go over well. And then and then when I made my way out to Alberta, then I wrote some kind of cowboy songs and oil rig songs and this and that. And then I started traveling the whole country, and I got quite a catalog of songs from everywhere now. And you're right. I guess one lady once said to me, she said, when I listen to your song, she says, I get the same feeling as when you see your picture or your name in the newspaper. And I guess to answer your question, that's sort of how I would equate it.
It makes sense.
As people seem to like to hear about themselves, or not about themselves, but about something that they're familiar with. Yeah. And I think especially in Canada, because because the States are such a big superpower and so close to us, that we get so, in a lot of ways, it sometimes feels like culturally we're like in an occupied country, right? Like
really Americanized.
Yeah, there's not so many countries, like most countries in the world. If you turn on the radio or turn on the TV, if you do that in France, you're going to hear like French music, and you're going to see French movies, and you're going to have French TV shows. And you do that in Germany, it's going to be the same thing. And most countries of the world are like that. But in Canada, it's actually usually American. You turn on the radio and you hear mostly American songs, and people are watching American TV shows, and obviously Hollywood movies. I think I read somewhere that like 1% of all the movie tickets sold in Canada are for Canadian films.
Wow.
So that's that's pretty kind of a unique thing to Canada. And then so I guess if you do have some Canadian songs and hometown songs, like I've built a career on that,
Yeah. Well, that's great. And out of your 6 albums you have released, kind of curious what song you're going to play for me today. Which one are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to do you one that last night we played the Capitol Theatre here in Moncton. So I'm going to do you one that this is actually I guess we can call it a New Brunswick kind of a song.
Okay.
But this is one actually I wrote in northern Alberta, And one night at the Oil Can Bar in Fort McMurray, it's the only thing we found playing concerts around northern Alberta. There's actually nobody from Alberta there at all. You know, they're all from the East Coast. And so one night at the Oil Can, I heard one guy from New Brunswick telling another guy from New Brunswick exactly what he was going to do as soon as he made $100,000. So being a songwriter, wrote a song out of it. So so here it is. It's the Ballad of $100,000. We were drinking whiskey at the Oil Can with a couple of hands from the crew, talking all about the black gold rush and a work in the Alberta crude. But Derek handy bought around. He said, I got a story to tell. It happened on a Peace River lease. We were just capping off a well. We had a driller from the East Coast. He was a real steady ringer too. At 10 minutes to midnight, he laid down all his tools. He said, as soon as I make $100,000, that'll be enough for me. I don't want to spend another winter up north of Grand Prairie. I don't give a damn about oil in the sand, and I don't want another dime. Tell everybody up north I went home to the Maritimes. We all laughed, they called him a fool. He said that's what I'd be, living in an Atco trailer ain't no life for me. A boom is like a wellhead flare, it's gonna burn out in time. So take 1,000 miles of drill stem and run it where the sun don't shine. Yeah, I got a girl in Shediac and she's always on my mind. And the stars out here don't sparkle like they do in the Maritimes. As soon as I make $100,000, that'll be enough for me. I don't want to spend another winter up north of Grand Prairie. I don't give a damn about oil in the sand, and I don't want another dime. Tell everybody up north I went home to the Maritimes. He got on the plane to Moncton and we ain't seen him since. There's a brand new trailer dropping weight on the button bits, and I'm still here in Fort McMoney, but every now and then I curse the mud and I curse the cold, but mostly I curse him. I'll never forget the look on his face when he said with a big white grin, so long till the oil patch, I'm never coming back again. As soon as I make $100,000, that'll be enough for me. I don't want to spend another winter up north of Grand Prairie. I don't give a damn about oil in the sand, and I don't want another dime. Tell everybody up north I went home to the Maritimes. Tell everybody at the Oil Can that I told them all goodbye. I send my biz the way out west from my home in the Maritimes.
Awesome, that was great.
Thank you.
So, what's next for Tim Huss now after this tour? What do you got on the go?
Well, we're working on a new album and Never Ending Highways tour stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some new inspiration from each tour to take into the studio, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we got lots of summer festivals this year, and we're playing lots of. Been doing lots of community hall shows. That seems to be really going good for us. We're doing that all over the place, and concert halls too.
Yeah.
And but yeah.
That's great. maybe one day Jeff's musical car will make it into one of your Journey songs.
Yeah, man, you never know. Yeah.
Well, that was Tim Huss. Be sure to check out his music. It's a lot of great stories to hear, some great tunes, and that's it for this episode of Jeff's Musical Car. See you next time.